even after doing a dopamine detox, I did it for about a week. I deleted all my social media. This was about several months ago. This is quite a while ago. If you go on my main channel, I'll put a card up there. I think there. You can go watch it if you want. I did a dopamine detox. I did like a social media detox, and it did kind of work. But you know what? I'm still hooked to my phone. I still am. It's not like terrible, but it's not great. Like, it's gotten worse recently though, because my screen time was about 3 hours a day, and like right now I'm pretty sure it's like 4 or 5 hours. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, last week it averaged that much. If it will focus. Come on. Come on. This is just pain. There you go. 4 hours and what? 58? Yeah, 5 hours. It's not ideal, right? It's not good. Especially kind of from a channel that promotes self-improvement. But there's a big difference in preaching. There's a big difference in saying you should do this, you should do that, and actually doing it yourself. Everyone can tell you good advice. I can tell you great advice. Do I follow it myself? That's the hard part, right? I'd argue most of the time I do, but I still slip up. I still slip up all the fucking time. I'm not perfect by any means. I'm still figuring this whole thing out myself, and I've been on self-improvement now for like 2 years. I'd say 2.5 years. Like, I started taking gym seriously when I turned 16. I'm 18 right now, so when I turned 16, I started to take gym seriously. I turned 19 in about, like 5 months, for reference. So yeah, I started taking gym seriously when I turned 16. I started taking like money seriously. I'm trying to make more money. I'm working online now. I start investing in crypto a lot more. I started taking everything more seriously, and addiction and things like that. I kind of already started to quit video games. That's kind of gone. But then what's the point? Like, I can quit video games, but if you replace it with Netflix, then there's no point. I mean, you're just replacing one poison for another. I don't really think you solve the problem. I think taking a step back and having a bit of humility having some humility on where you are, because you can do self-improvement for like a couple months and think you're like on top of the fucking world, you're this, you're that, but you're not that special. There's a lot of guys doing it now. There's a lot of guys doing self-improvement now, and there's so many people doing self-improvement channels, which is kind of why I'm thinking of separating my niche a little bit and creating my own niche. It's not so generic. I don't want it to be like a generic channel of somebody of like, it's easy to replicate. I don't want my channel to be easy to replicate. I want it to be specifically quite difficult to replicate. Because number one, it's me in it, and number two, just like the way I make the videos, the way that I interact with people, I want that to be unique. I don't want anyone to be able to copy that. I'm sure people can, but as long as I do it the best, that's what matters. So yeah, but with social media, like, I'll go onto Instagram and I'll go to post a reel, but I'll still catch myself scrolling a little bit. And it's not that bad. You know, I've never been much of a scroller, I'll be honest with you. That's one thing that I have been good at, is I'm not much of a scroller in terms of, I go on Instagram and I sit there for like 15 minutes scrolling. I don't really do that. Like, I'll go on TikTok and I'll post like a video, but I won't sit there and scroll. I'll catch myself after about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I'll be like, okay, let's get off. And that's usually what happens. Even after like a couple of, like 20, 30 seconds, I'll get off the app. But I still do it. I think a lot of it has been going into YouTube. Like, I'm not even gonna deny it to you, right? Like, I'll go on the toilet, right, and I'll literally like watch something. You know, I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of guys do that, right? They just go on the loo and they just get their phone out and they spend like, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes watching whatever. That adds up, you know. That actually does add up. That time that you keep doing that, it does add up. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but like, for example, what if instead you had a book beside you in the toilet and you could just read that, you know? Like, I mean, a bit of a weird thought, right? But that's what this channel's about. I'm just going to be saying ideas that come to me. I don't really care what anyone thinks. If you don't want to watch it, you can click off. I honestly don't care. But it's more for me than anyone else, just documenting my ideas over time. And if you guys find it helpful, go ahead. But like, just leaving a book in the bathroom instead. And like, the thing is, right, okay, I actually started doing that. I actually left a book in the bathroom, and I had like a weird like promise to myself. Like, we got like 2 bathrooms in my house, one downstairs, one upstairs, and I said to myself, I will not go into the bathroom upstairs with my phone. I just refused, and I actually stuck to that. I actually stuck to that really, really well. What happened was I literally just went downstairs and got my phone out, so there was literally no point at all. Like, and that's just kind of the weird stuff that I do sometimes. Like, I just do that kind of stuff. I've always had those like kind of tendencies. I don't think it's like OCD or anything like that, but like I don't know. That's just kind of how I am. But yeah, I had a book in there. I'd read it like occasionally. But I don't know. My little spurgy brain is still. It's still there. It's still there. It's still there. It's not gone. It's still there. It's definitely a lot quieter. I definitely have a lot more control over it. Like, if I need to get shit done, I'll get it done. If I need to make a video, I'll make a video. I'll just do it. Like, can I record today? Can I go interview people today? I can? Alright, let's go. Let's just go. I'll hop on the train. I'll go to London and we'll just do it. Nothing like that. But it's... The addictions are still hardwired in my brain. It's not gone yet. It's still there. I still have pulls. Like, I'll wake up and after I weigh myself and like record my weight because I'm bulking right now, I will very happily, I will open my phone and I will, first thing I'll look is YouTube analytics. That's the first thing I do. I didn't used to do this. I didn't used to do that, okay? When my channel was not blowing up, I did not do that. I didn't care, right? I was just focused on making quality videos. But as soon as it started doing well, I was like, oh, refresh. And I stopped watching videos. I just kept looking at my own channel, which I don't think is a great idea either because you're not really providing any value by doing that. It's tricky. It is really tricky. Watching other creators, and I will watch like another self-improvement video, and my brain will rationalize that. Oh, but I'm watching more self-improvement. I can get inspiration from other videos, and like that's true. But I'd probably think of better ideas just sitting down and just thinking. I'd probably make way better ideas just by doing that. But my little lizard brain, my little spurgy brain is like, nah, bro, you can watch it. It's alright. Don't worry. Don't stress. But it's not adding any value. Like, if I added up all the time that I spent watching these YouTubers, I don't know, would it actually be helpful? Would it actually lead to something? I think it would. But I think for most people it wouldn't. I think for me, it definitely has. But I think a huge advantage that I have is that I'm on a gap year. I have time. Like, I have time right now. I have a lot of time. And I'm trying to abuse that as much as I can. I feel guilty if I ever go do some of the like instant gratification, like I just go on my phone, for example, and I watch some shit, whatever, right? That doesn't really matter. That I forget about. Like, I'll go on Instagram and I'll watch a couple of my friends' stories, right? But I will literally not remember any of it tomorrow. Like, I think I looked at about 5 or 6 today. I can't tell you what was on there. It just goes in and it goes out. Like, no one cares. It just goes in and it goes out. It's just a waste of your brain space. It's a waste of your mental capacity. You're just draining yourself. There's like no reason to. But there's still a pull to do it. That's the thing. Like what I'm saying isn't rocket science, okay? This isn't like some next level thing. I'm sure you guys are aware of this. You know the things that you shouldn't do, but it's actually not doing them is actually a lot more, it's a lot harder than just knowing. Like, the right decisions is not difficult to know. Like, you know the certain actions, you know going to the gym is going to help you. I don't have an issue going to the gym anymore. Like, I really look forward to it. I'm probably going to go work out after this. But I know guys who still struggle to get themselves to go do it. Same thing with the phone. I know that going on social media isn't going to help me, but I'll still do it. I'll still do it regardless. I think it's just a constant fight. But I think the first step is recognizing that I'm still hooked. I'm not as hooked as I was, but I'm not at a place where I feel comfortable with my discipline towards my devices. You know? Like, I still feel like that possession still owns me to some extent. My phone still owns me to a certain extent. I never used to use social media. Up until about 16, you know, I actually deleted Instagram. I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have Snapchat. Mainly because I was insecure about that. Because I didn't think nobody was really friends with me. Like, I had a couple of friends, but like, I don't know, it just wasn't really, I was busy on my PS4 anyway, I don't really care, right? That was just replaced by my PS4, I honestly didn't care. My phone was just an MP3 player back in those days, but now that I'm making content, and I'm trying to grow my personal brand, it's a bit different now, right? I actually did have a channel when I was like 13, 14, it got like 200 subs, it was actually it was a gaming channel. Maybe in the future, maybe in like a future video, I'll tell you the channel, because all the videos are still there. You can like hear my voice when I was like a little spurg, like a little 13-year-old, like 14, 15-year-old, just playing Destiny, getting raged, Like, if any of you guys know me personally, you probably know the channel. But yeah, I may mention it in like a future video. But yeah, it was interesting. Those are good days, but I'm still hooked. I'm just trying to think, like, what's the best way I get rid of this? Do I do another dopamine detox? That's the question. I don't think I need to, but again, is that just my little spurgy brain telling me that? I don't know. It could be, you know. It really could be. I think, honestly, just recognizing it and just putting more barriers in place. No, not that's the wrong word. Not barriers. I think just whenever I feel the pull, like, I think this is how it works. Like, when you feel a pull to do like a bad habit, every time you fight that urge, you're gonna get stronger. And that's what I did with everything. That's what I did with like NoFap. That's what I did with video games. I think I just applied the same logic here. I don't see why it wouldn't work. I'll just do it again. And I'll update you guys on how I'm doing with that. So right now my screen average is like 5 hours last week. It used to be 3 hours, you know. I don't lie, okay? Like, it was 3 hours, 3.5 hours. It's gone up. It has gone up. I think part of that was my YouTube started going up, so I started checking it more. 100%. Like, I started watching less videos of other people and just looking at my own channel, just refreshing and looking at comments, etc. Like, I was just looking at every single comment that I got, which was like a good 300, 400 comments in the last, like, a good like 500 comments in the last week, which is, you know, that's quite a lot of comments, you know, to look at. That's quite a lot of comments. Each comment probably takes about a good, like, 5-10 seconds to read. That's a lot of time if you keep adding it up. And then sometimes I reply to it, etc. But it's like my addiction to watching videos got replaced to looking at my own analytics. It just got replaced. But it's still there. Like, it's not gone. It's still there, you know? And then once the analytics drop off, then I go back to watching the videos. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's an endless loop, you know? I just replaced one bad habit with another. So I think what I'm going to do now is, now that, also, it's like doing it, posting this on YouTube, it's almost like you got, like, my audience is my accountability partner. Like, you guys can, I can put myself you guys can put me accountable to what I've said, and I got to follow through. So my screen time this week last week was about 5 hours. I'm gonna aim for like 4 hours, 3 hours, and that's the thing with trying to improve anything in your life. It has to be gradual, because if it's not gradual, you won't stick to it. I don't care who you are. If you're not gradual about this stuff, you're not gonna stick to it. It's just, you kind of just start it and then you'll stop it, and then come on, it's not gonna solidify. It's not gonna be an actual thing that you do. But yeah, I'm gonna try and minimize my time by just, when I feel a pull to go on like a certain social media, I'll just resist it and just build that muscle up again. Because every time that I do go on it, I mean, like, yeah, I just look at it. Every time I do go back on the app, on any of the apps, I look at it, I look at other people's like Instagram stories or whatever, I'm just like, well, it hasn't really changed anything, has it? I'm still the same. Looking at this girl's story does not change anything. It did nothing. It added no value to my life at all. So I'm just like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the point? But yeah, I'm going to work on it. If you guys have a similar story, just let me know. Because honestly, this channel, unfiltered, I'm just going to be honest. This isn't scripted. The only thing that was planned was the title or the topic, which was, I'm still addicted to my phone. And everything I just said is off my tongue. So there's no script, there's no nothing. This is just how I am. I'm not hiding anything. This is literally how I am. Whether you want to believe me or not is your call. If you don't believe me, you can piss off. I don't really care, right? But this will be like accountability. So you guys can see where I am, and hopefully you can relate to it in some sense. Or maybe you were in a similar situation, you've gotten better. Yeah. I'm open to any suggestions. And I think I know, I mean, I'm pretty confident that I know what to do. It's just actually implementing it. Like, everyone can tell you good advice. Like, it's not fucking hard to tell you good advice, right? I can sit here and preach and give you the best advice in the world, but that's not really going to help you unless you actually do it. And doing it is a lot harder than people think, you know? I mean, that's not a reason not to do it. I'm not saying because it's hard you shouldn't do it. No, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, you can feel productive watching these videos on social media or whatever, but unless you do anything with it, it was a waste of time. It still is a waste of time. 90% of the time, it still is a waste of time. Like, even watching this video, if you've got this far in the video, honestly, thank you. Like, I'm actually fucking shocked. Because my watch time, my retention's just like this. It just goes down fast, and my hair's a mess as well. But whatever. If you made it this far, thank you, and let me know. Let me know how you deal with it. Because honestly, I'll read every comment. Like, if you post a comment, I'm gonna look at it, right? And I think I probably will until this channel gets about 10k. I probably will read every single comment. But again, am I just looking at analytics too much? You see, like, it just goes on forever. It just keeps repeating in my head. But yeah, this has been fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.